Okay, so here we've got a video about tuning your guitar. Now, you should tune your guitar every day you practice, all right? Because the strings stretch and they go out of tune, especially if your guitar is going through temperature changes. It also expands and contracts with temperature and humidity. So there's just a lot affecting the guitar and it can go out of tune fairly regularly and fairly quickly. And so tune your guitar every day. All right, now, if you are taking Suzuki guitar lessons with me and you're tuning your guitar for your child, you may only need to tune the first 3 strings for most of book 1, all right? So don't worry about tuning the other strings. I may actually have tuned them to different than normal tunings for reasons I'm not going to get into here. All right, so now the first thing you need to know when you're tuning your guitar is the string names. So I'm gonna bring this guitar in real close so you can see the strings. We've got the E, the thickest string, E, A, D, G, B, and again, E, the thinnest string. Now that sounds crazy, like how are you gonna remember that? Well, of course, there's a mnemonic device. Eddie, 8, dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. So just remember that and you're good to go. Eddie, 8, dynamite, goodbye, Eddie, starting on the thickest string. Now make sure when you are tuning your guitar that you turn the right tuner, all right? So what can happen is if you're not paying attention and you're tuning the wrong tuner, you just keep going and going and going, hoping that it gets up to pitch, and before you know it, you break a string that you didn't even think you were tuning. So I did that a number of times when I first started playing. The way to make sure you're on the right string is the old finger method. Just follow the string up to the tuner. After a bit, you're not going to have such a hard time finding the strings. You'll just know where it is. So that'll work itself in. All right, now through this video, I will be using the terms sharp and flat. Sharp means the pitch is too high. Another way of saying that is the string is too tight. All right, means the string being tight means the pitch is going to be higher. All right, the other thing that can happen is the pitch can be flat. All right, that's going to be too low, too loose. The device to remember that is that when you are dressed up, you're looking sharp, dressed up. And when your car gets a flat tire, the car goes down, flat, down in pitch. All right. So, okay, now let's, I got to show you the tuners I've got here on my computer. I've got 2 different ones. They both work with the same basic idea. This is, that happened. All right, give me a second here while I bring stuff back up. All right, there we go. So this right here is going to be the kind of device, the kind of interface you see on a lot of clip-on tuners. Those clip-on tuners you want to clip right onto the headstock. All right, and it's just a gauge, looks like a fuel gauge kind of, and you're going to go for getting that into the middle. Now down below that right here, I'm just going to bounce down there quick, otherwise my windows will get screwed up again. All right, that is that's the same idea. You still want to get your indicator into the middle, but it's just along a flat line and it has some colors to make it look fancy. Sometimes you get that as well on your clip-on tuners. Now, the next thing to notice right here is that, well, first off, you can ignore these things right here, above and below. Right here in the middle, we have something that tells us what the pitch is, what the tuner is hearing. And that's really important. We won't worry about it right away, but I will explain why that's so important in a bit. You will see that also on the tuner below and the bottom tuner. All right, so let's just do a standard tuner. Tuning, the first string here I'm going to tune is E. All right, and as we'll see, the pitch is off to this side, and that means, well, actually I guess it's off to this side. The pitch is off to that side, and that means that it is a little bit flat, a little too loose. Which way do I turn the tuner if it's a little too loose? Well, the best thing to do is actually just grab the tuner and give it a couple of turns and feel if that feels like it's too loose, loosening it or tightening, and then turn the other way and figure it out on your own whether it's looser or tighter, which direction it is. I'd say this because sometimes tuners, most classical guitars, the tuners come back and then it's no problem, but electric guitars and some of the guitars that my students start on, the tuners come off the sides and it's actually different directions depending on which side of the headstock you're on. So, and it can just be confusing. So now let's tune this guitar. All right, so too flat. I'm going to play the string, see what it says. Too flat. I got to sharpen it. I'm going to turn the knob, then play it again and see what it says. Getting there. And as I get closer, of course, I'm going to make smaller and smaller, finer and finer adjustments. Now it's bouncing around a little bit, so I'm going to play near the 12th fret. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Now, that's your standard thing. Most of the time, your strings are going to go flat because, like I said, they stretch, and when they stretch, they get loose, okay? Now, sometimes, depending on circumstances, you may have a string go sharp. All right, so let's take a look at the next string. So you see that's off to the sharp side of the meter. So we're going to loosen the tuner. Again, I'm going to play, listen, adjust, play. Now you'll notice what I've done here is take the string below the actual pitch. It was kind of in the middle there. What we want to do is always tune up to the pitch we're working with. It just helps the strings stay in tune better, less chances of slippage and things like that. So now, tuning back to our pitch. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Again, I'm playing near the 12th fret to get a clearer sound for the tuner. All right, now that will cover 9 out of 10 instances when you're tuning the guitar. You're either going to be sharp or flat, and that's about it. But you always want to be paying attention for that potential 10th incident, and that would be a situation like this. Here we want to tune to the note G, and if I play, you'll see that it indicates, I'm pointing like you can see where I'm pointing, the indicator here actually indicates a G sharp. Alright. Now you got to be really careful and paying attention for that G sharp, because what you could end up doing is tuning to entirely the wrong G. Well, they're different notes actually, but if you tune to that G sharp, it's just going to be wrong. So you need to be looking out for that. Alright, so, and of course if you tune the guitar and your child's playing and it just sounds horrible, go back and check for that. You'll see how much. Okay, now I'm in the right range. You see when I'm playing it says G, all right? And again, I want to take it a little below so I can tune up to the pitch rather than down. Okay, that's pretty good. So now the next thing to do is, the next thing we're going to look at here's another circumstance where the string is just pretty far off. Now this note is actually supposed to be D, and if you look here it says C sharp, all right? And you are a parent or just learning how to play guitar, you're not really sure maybe the order of the notes or what that means. You notice it says C sharp. Well, you can't just tune to C sharp because that's the wrong note. You've got to know the names of the musical notes. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and then it repeats. And you can just, for the sake of tuning, you can think that between each note is a sharp and a flat, all right? So you've got A sharp, B flat, B sharp, C flat, C sharp, and D flat, and then D. So we need to, with that we can know that we are at C sharp, it is below D, where we need to be, so we need to tune it up to pitch. So let's give that a good whack. All right, there, you see I gave it about a half turn there, and it's already in the range of D. At least on the upper tuner. The lower tuner's got some funny settings I've never seen before, so. There we go, and now it's on D on both tuners. All right, good, there we go. At D. Now let's just do the last two strings, all right? And I've just had those set up like normal, they're just flat, all right? A little bit. So remember to follow the string, play the note. And there we go, all right, and that's a relatively in-tune guitar. Yeah, that'll do. All right, so now, of course, the best way to tune your guitar is by ear, and that's a skill you'll develop either through lessons with me or on your own. Also, if you're having a hard time tuning your strings, it may be that your strings are real old and just need replacing, okay? And yeah, I think I said this already. Temperature changes can affect the tuning, so if you're bringing your guitar in and out, especially for something like your guitar lesson, you may find that your guitar teacher needs to tune the strings a couple times during the lesson because he tunes it at the beginning of the lesson, and then halfway through the lesson your guitar is out of tune again. Completely normal. It's just that's just what happens when it gets cold outside or hot outside, depending on your climate. All right, well, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you found it informative.